The negotiation process at the UN Climate Summit in Dubai got off to a slow start at the weekend. The COP28 President, Sultan Al Jaber, has urged countries to find common ground. Now, for more, we're joined by SABC International News Editor Sophie Mokoena. Sophie, good morning to you. The conference, of course, ending tomorrow. Talk to us about how the negotiations are coming on.
Well, yesterday the president of COP, Sultan Al Jaber, had to call an urgent meeting with all stakeholders with the aim of ensuring that they are able to find one another. He was very clear that the progress is quite slow. You know that the sticking point is still the issue of fossil fuel. He also pointed out that there's still no agreement in relation to adopting a text that speaks to adaptation, but also looking at what has transpired in relation to other conferences, what we normally call stock take. And therefore, he was saying, however, that he's confident that he will be able to put pressure to ensure that there's agreement. But as you can see behind me, let me step out of the shot, that people are continuing to put pressure to the negotiators to ensure that they are able to agree on these important issues, particularly the island nations who are suffering. Let's take a bit of a lesson just here.
I come from the Bitterroot Nation of the Flathead Reservation of Montana. Our lands used to be in the Bitterroot Valley, but we were forcibly relocated. I want to talk to you about our relationship, our sacred relationship with Mother Earth, and how indigenous peoples, we pray when we plant our food. Gathering our food is a ceremony. With us, our specum, our bitterroot, is so important. When we gather, we can't go out even harvest it until an elder woman goes out in the spring and determines.
As you can see, Leanne, they are adamant that something must be done and there must be an agreement. But also, let's take a listen at what the president of COP had to say when he was addressing the media in relation to the slow pace of the negotiations.
We need to also come to terms with the sources of finance and support for adaptation, finance, and a just transition. We need text that is agreed on by everyone on a global goal on adaptation that is still open. And that is one point that I will keep the pressure on. But you know, none of this is a surprise, especially for those who are very involved in this process. None of this is a surprise. This is exactly how this particular process works. Ultimately, it all boils down to the need for all parties to come to terms with the fact that we will deliver the highest ambition. And to do that, we need to be more flexible, and we need to accept to compromise, and that all parties should come to terms with these facts. I am confident we can work through these issues.
We have to get back in, and it's not with chemicals, it's not with pesticides.
Well, you had there the president of COP adamant that they will reach an agreement. But I must point out that earlier on when we arrived here, the Climate Network International was issuing pamphlets in relation to what's happening in Gaza, calling for ceasefire. We also had an opportunity to speak to some of the demonstrators who will be demonstrating at 11, particularly focusing on the nuclear energy. Back to you, Leanne.